You guys are doing photo booth again, I hear. Have you guys always been doing photo booths?
We've always been doing photo booths. We're getting rid of it though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of those things that, like, unless you have someone that can show up, set it
All the
up, and
break
without
down.
Yep.
yeah, without you being there, it's not a problem. But we don't have that person, so it's always me sneaking away during cocktail hour. I have to rush my details to go set up the photo booth after. It's a little stressful sometimes. We haven't really been like pushing it as much.
Is it an all-in-one type of deal? Everything's contained into one unit, like one little chunk?
It's an
Yeah,
open air, yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
one of the Supply Co. photo booths. We've had it for like 8 years.
Mhm.
Oh, that was like 10 grand when I last looked at it.
Yep,
It was.
that's exactly what we
shit.
paid. Yeah.
Sure was.
I mean,
Um,
it's fairly easy to get your money back from it.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you mind sharing how much you guys charge for it?
$950.
All right, good.
No,
So-
1,000. 950 to
yeah.
1,000. But it's not even like worth it, and the hassle and like bringing it and like
it's so much hassle. Yep.
making
So
sure we have an attendant. It's like
Yeah,
ugh.
so Karis and I, we used to offer a booth as well for about 1,000. And yo, our setup was ghetto. Did I ever show you guys a picture of this photo booth?
No.
All right,
No.
so what had happened was, as I was upgrading our gear and our lenses and stuff like that, we had some leftover gear just lying around. So I was like, you know what? I got some leftover tripods that I got from like Best Buy, and I got like this camera and stuff. Hey,
Was there
couple-
PVC pipe involved?
Was there PVC pipe? There might have been for the backdrop, but in any case, we were like, "Hey, we're testing this out. Would you like to be our guinea pig for this photo booth thing that we're thinking about doing?" They're like, "Yeah, sure." So that's how we started with a photo booth, and it was just a camera on a tripod connected to a laptop and a printer. It was so ghetto, and we needed like a 6-foot table to put this on top
Open
of.
booth.
It was open booth, but it was like wires everywhere.
And then you
It was
had
just so
two
messy.
lights on top of the table too, light stands
But they were slaves, right?
with
They were
softbox.
soft
Yeah.
boxes and slaves. So basically, if we were out there on the dance floor
it
firing,
triggered it. It
that
triggered
would
it.
trigger it, right? So whoever's in, so, so
Or
on the dance,
even any guest with
any
with
guest
a camera,
shooting their
they
little
flash
point
it.
and shoots, it
Yep.
would fire the booth.
Oh, yeah.
the
Yep.
light in the booth. We definitely had some learning to do when we first started. But in any case, we charged about 1,000, and the bonus that we did, I don't know if you guys do this too. The photo booth attendant was usually an associate that was in training, right? So basically, the photo booth fee covered, their assistant fee, as well as the props that would go missing that day, and and also the ink and the paper and all that kind of stuff. I mean, do you guys lose props at the end of the night?
Not as much as we used to. Like, we stopped bringing all the cool stuff because we learned early on that the cool stuff goes missing first.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Um,
Karis would chase people down. It's like, excuse me, ma'am, I saw you pack away those 90s shades in your purse. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I saw you put it into your purse. It's like a $2 plastic.
Some
Yeah.
drunk people even offered to like pay me money because they're like, "Can I please take it home?" I'm like, "No,
Give it
Yep.
back. But anyway, we would make on average, I'll share with you guys, on average $20,000 to $30,000 extra for this photo booth add-on. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it's not little money. You know what I mean? So, but it is a huge pain in the ass, because the other thing is, back then we were doing full day coverage. We left whenever the party was over, right? But as soon as we started shrinking our coverage down to like 10 hours or whatever it is, so let's say your coverage ends at 10, but
Mhm.
the photo booth is there till midnight. Now what do you do?
That's what we hate.
Now what do you do? So you're just gonna hang out in the photo. Hey, listen, I'm off the clock now. I'm just here for the photo booth. You look like an idiot when you do that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
The last few weddings and bar mitzvahs that I've been to where they had photo booths, the photographer would break it down before they finished their day. So it was like the booth was up for, a couple hours, and that was it. That everybody had a chance to just storm it real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
how that worked out, but
and then not only
Yeah.
that, sometimes you can't turn on the booth until dinner orders are taken, because if you have the booth open as soon as the people come in, right? No one's seated, and the venue's on your ass about
Yep.
like, hey,
Oh
listen,
yeah.
yo, we gotta get
There's
dinner
one
orders.
venue. There's one venue that makes sure that the booths are always the lights turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys one more story from our early days, which was hilarious. So this is before we learned how to properly do OCF. So we would have a big ass umbrella connected to a flash in the far corner of the room, right? So basically, it would shoot into the umbrella, and then the umbrella would bounce light back onto the dance floor, right? But in order for it to reach the dance floor, you would have to shoot it at full power, right? So the output, we put it in the corner, but unfortunately, there was a table that was right directly underneath that umbrella. So we're working on the dance floor, and just pop, pop, pop. Can you imagine? You're trying to eat dinner, and there's this
You're just like,
1/1 power, just like pop, 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 just hitting you while you're eating.
it's like an airport.
To those who don't know the sound of a 1-to-1 pop, it's scary. But to those of us who know it, it's such a beautiful sound.
Yeah, 1/1 pop. Oh my gosh! And the photos weren't even that good. All that suffering for nothing. You know what I mean?
What flashes did you have? Like small flashes or like
No,
8200?
these are like these are huge. These are like these Westcott like.
Oh yeah,
huge-
strobes.
Yeah, these are like
Strobes,
big
yep,
ass studio
strobes.
strobes, man.
Oh,
Actually, these strobes
crazy loud.
ended up being our
Photo booth.
our photo booth strobes, right? So these are the same ones that acted as slaves.
Yeah.
So if you had some like Uncle Bob shooting his camera, it would fire our strobes too. So maybe
Yep.
we had nothing to do with it, right? But like, if you got 100 people firing their flashes in that reception space, that thing is going off 100 times,
Yep.
So that's pretty
Oh
funny.
my
And then if you had the recharge sound on, then it's like pop.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're ready to start this podcast. You guys ready to start this podcast?
We're ready.
All right. All right, guys, welcome to the Focus AF podcast. My name is Ben,
I'm Karis.
It's Jen.
And this is Ro.
and we are Focused AF. Yeah, so now that we've talked about all of our early mistakes in our journey to becoming semi-professionals, and how photo booths have played a role in all of that, I don't know how to segue this into our guest for today, right? we also hear him giggling in the background already. But so how did I come across this individual here? So a couple of years ago, I was attending, it's either Imagen or WPPI, one of those conferences. Prior to that, he had already been on my radar, at least, because he does serve our market here in New Jersey as well. So he's a known quantity. He pops into these Facebook groups every now and then. So I had seen his name around for a little bit, but I didn't know that he knew who we were either. but in any case, as I was walking through his booth, he's with a company which we'll name drop in just a little bit, right? I was walking by his booth. Somehow he pulled up an old video of mine from one of my lives where I was basically naming and shaming. Actually, no, I don't think I named anyone, but I was basically calling someone an asshole. Why you shouldn't be an asshole in this industry. And somehow he magically pulled up that video and put it on that big ass screen that he had in his booth for everyone to see. I was a little bit mortified, a little bit flattered, but also a little bit mortified that someone, their first thought when they see my face is that video where I'm, calling people an asshole and not to be an asshole. It's like, oh, there's Ben. Oh, I know him. He's the guy that talked about assholes in the industry. So let me pull out that video real quick. So anyway, what do I know about this guy? Well, I know that he used to be a photographer. He might still shoot some stuff here and there. He was also a guest on one of my lives a couple of weeks ago. So he's also, I don't know what he does for Imagen AI. He's, when you exactly, he does the community. He takes care of the community aspect of the Imagen AI brand. But I don't know what else he does for them aside from, answering questions, helping people out, helping people understand the software and, all that stuff. So maybe he can help enlighten us a little bit. But in any case, I'd like to welcome you guys to the podcast, our good friend, Scott Wyden Kivowitz. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
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 What a terrible intro.
That's about the longest intro.
Yes, I was gonna say that. Longest intro ever.
You should have introduced him like Game of Thrones, like
We should
first of
have
his name.
we should have counted how many times he said the word asshole.
Just to be clear, Scott is not the asshole.
Not
That's
the asshole.
messed up.
That's so funny.
Clearly not the asshole. So for those of the listeners out there who don't know who you are, maybe they've been living under a rock. Why don't you tell our listeners who you are, what you do, how long you've been doing it, and all that good stuff?
Sure. So yeah, I am from New Jersey, like all of you, and I've been shooting since the early 2000s. I've straight out of college, I knew that I wanted to be on the educate and serve the photographer side of things, not be full-time shooting. I know myself too well, so I knew that if I was shooting full-time, I'd wind up hating photography, and I don't want to do that because photography is in my blood and I love it. So I've been working for multiple companies for quite some time. I am still shooting. During the pandemic, shifted from families and headshots and cake smashes and stuff like that to primarily surprise proposals. Just organically shifted during the pandemic, and I'm in the great spot because I have a full-time job with Imagen that I can turn down jobs and refer to other people, which I do quite often, and take on exciting ones when I want to. I also shoot about one wedding a year. They're very unique, special weddings, and I could talk about what that means.
What does that mean? What's the threshold? What is the requirement for it to be like, all right, I'm going to take this one?
Yeah, like Grammy award-winning musician that I have known since childhood that secretly got married and asked me to his mother asked me to photograph it. So I'm like, hell yeah. So that's in my portfolio because why would I turn that down?
Are you allowed to share it when you photograph these celebrities? Do you have to sign NDAs and stuff?
That one I'm not allowed to share. There was no NDA. It was just trust because I've known the family forever. But they asked me not to share it, so I have not shared it, unfortunately. But I got stuff like that in my portfolio. So I'm still shooting. It's just I'm very particular because I have the fortune of being able to because of my full-time job, which is at Imagen. And my role there is community manager as well as our podcast host, editor, producer, you name it. Anything podcast is me. And yeah, basically what that means as far as the community manager side goes is I am in charge of our online community, growing it, engaging with the community, trying to spark discussions, but also gauge features and feedback and things like that. So I'm having regular conversations with people on our partner team and our actual partners. I'm having regular conversations with our product team and relaying what the community is saying, both virtually and in person from events and things like that, and working with our product team to ensure that what the community is asking for actually happens. So a lot of the features that have come in the past 2 years have been, 99% driven by the community, and it's part of the work that I've been doing to sort of be the go-between and sort of, consolidate and provide the data to show like, hey, this is what people are asking for. This is why you should do it. Here's how I would envision it to work. As the photographer, I can relay how that could work. Sometimes it's doing a horrible Photoshop mock-up. Sometimes it's me just speaking in a voice rather than typing it. But I have regular conversations with them, with the product team to do that and beyond. I mean, the beautiful thing about community is I fit in every part of the company and work alongside everybody in some fashion.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
The first one is a little controversial, just being you who you are, right?
Okay.
Pork roll or Taylor ham?
Ooh. So yeah. So I mean, if we want to be technical, it is pork roll because Taylor ham is a brand, right? So
all right, we're about to lose half of New Jersey here.
Well, if we can keep it going, is there a central Jersey? Because technically,
which is where you live,
Jersey,
which is where you live.
Yeah. Man, we're causing all sorts of Jersey drama.
Yeah, that's all we need. The other one is actually I took something out of your playbook this morning because what I see you do in the community, you respond to a lot of people's questions in video format, right? And
everybody's, yeah.
Oh, you respond to everybody's.
Every single one, yep.
It doesn't matter where you're sitting or where you are.
I literally will do it from the car if I'm still working, but I happen to be driving.
Yeah.
When you did when you spoke at Cardinal Camera months and months and months ago, which
They're
RIP.
no longer
Um,
with us. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
See what you did.
Yeah.
So
I always partner up with the wrong people.
when you spoke, I'm sitting in the parking lot and I replied to 2 people from the car before I
Uh-huh.
went into the store. So
Cool. I had not a complaint, but like someone who had a lot of questions. Because as Jenn Ro will share with you, my
Mhm.
clients tend to require a little bit more hand holding. That's a lie. They require a lot of hand holding, right? So with that comes a lot of questions and things like that. So
Mhm.
it required a thorough response. And I think that sometimes when you try to type out a response, maybe the humor gets lost, or maybe I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be sarcastic or anything like that, but maybe the tone gets lost. So
Yeah.
I think responding in video format kind of
Mhm.
humanizes the response a little bit.
Yeah.
And it allows me to be more flexible too. I can be a little bit more casual when I'm responding and stuff. So, it's I don't know. I haven't gotten feedback on that yet, like whether they like that or not. But I like it. I
Yeah.
like it when you do your video responses.
Thank you. Yeah, it's when I was first hired by Imagen, I was the entire content team. It was me. Blog, social, I mean, you name content, it was me. And there was a point where we were growing to the point where I couldn't do it all myself. So I had a conversation with one of our founders, and once we eventually hired people to take stuff off my plate, so I had my main 2 focuses. He challenged me. He said, I want you to do something that makes you stand out as a community manager, not for Imagen, but as a community manager in general in the community management space. I'm in a lot of communities for community managers.
Mhm.
And nobody, not even in their communities, is doing what I'm doing. So I said to one of our founders, I said, here's my idea. There's no way, because Facebook, there's no way for me to get the data to prove this is effective. It's impossible.
Mhm.
And he said, well, we can try it. Let's see how it goes. The feedback is amazing. And it basically proved without data that it's worth me doing. There might be a point where it's not sustainable anymore. Or if I get more people on the community team, I can train them on how to do it properly and efficiently so it doesn't waste a lot of time. But I also find, so I'm dyslexic, so I also find that I could do those faster and better than I can write a response. So, and again, same thing, the emotion, any humor, you lose it all with the text. So it's definitely been a positive thing no matter what way you look at it. And I've had to learn as well, because I started out not doing it with captions, and people were like, well, I can't always listen. So I had to start doing it with the text of what I'm saying on as an overlay as well. So I
Wait,
have to learn.
is the caption, is that AI, or you're typing you creating the captions too?
It's all AI.
AI, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
create? What are you doing the videos on?
Descript.
Okay.
I already used Descript to edit our podcast from start to finish.
Mhm.
So it just made sense. Let me just do these in there, which, it's a
Yeah.
fantastic tool.
That's what.
And it
my
pulls
brother was
highlights for you
using.
too, right? It pulls highlights and all that stuff for
Yep.
you as well. Yeah. good
Yep.
stuff. I'll have to look into it.
And you said
Now,
we use that already?
My brother was using it for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And so is my guy. He's using the script as well. Yeah.
Go to
Yeah,
program.
we have the script as well. So there's a question that we like to ask all of our guests. What year did you shoot your first wedding?
First wedding? Oh man.
Ever.
I'd have
First
to look it up.
wedding ever.
Yeah, it was probably 2005, 2006, somewhere around there.
Okay. What did you charge for that first wedding?
Maybe $1,500.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
way high.
pretty good.
Oh,
You can get, I'm trying to do
It-
the math here. Is that 90
it-
Moses Cruises?
it's actually more if you adjust for inflation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was almost 20 years ago.
How many
Yeah,
Moses
it was-
Cruises can you get for that? That's a lot.
Wow.
No. I'm sorry. It's 200 something. I messed up my math. It was 200 something. Whoa, that's pretty good. And what did they get for that $1,500?
There was no album, that's for sure. It was definitely a shoot and burn style, like shoot it, give them the gallery. I probably gave them so at the time I was working at a retail store that had its own lab, so I probably gave them prints. I don't remember, but I probably gave them prints. But yeah, it was pretty much you get a gallery, which at the time was probably Smug Mug, because That was like the thing
I'm that
back
old
then.
too. I'm that old too. I have
Yeah.
SmugMug.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with SmugMug. I love SmugMug, but it doesn't, for weddings, it's not as doesn't have
Yeah.
its place as much as it used to.
Is it
Um,
still around?
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
around.
Oh,
We still
yeah.
use it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, it's like one of those things like AOL, like it's still there, but nobody
Yeah.
really uses it.
Yeah.
No, I still use it. I still use it. I use
Oh
it to
my
store.
God.
No, I use it to because it's
It's
unlimited
like
storage.
online storage.
It's our
Yep.
cloud backup. Because Backblaze, it is what it is. Backblaze only allows you to retrieve it so many times, and like there's a lot of restrictions. With SmugMug, it's unlimited storage for $10 a month. I can't beat that. You know what I mean? Yes, it's another subscription, but it's worth it.
Subscription,
I've been using it for a very long time. But the thing is, I don't think I'll get canceled for this, right? But the user interface, they haven't really updated it very much in like 15 years or 20 years or however long they've been around. So from a user experience, from a branding experience,
Yep.
we went elsewhere. Yeah.
So I think on that note, I've had a lot of conversations with people at SmugMug. Since they acquired Flickr, they have been working on a lot of user experience updates across the board of all their brands.
Mhm.
So I would expect to see that soon. But at the same time, I believe they also have the mentality of if it ain't broke, don't fix it, type of thing.
Mhm.
Like SmugMug is solid; it works,
Right.
and has since day one. They have a fantastic product for what it is. So I don't, I think their updates are going to be minor, but prettier. I don't think it's going to be a dramatic change.
Overhaul, like an overhaul or
Yeah.
something like
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. I think Ro mentioned this in an earlier recording. Sometimes your downfall, right? When the company's failing, it's a very slow burn. Like you don't know that it's happening until it's too late. And when you finally realize that something is wrong, it's already too late because you should have been on top of it the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that true, Ro? I mean, you still agree with that?
I do, but you also have your people that are loyal too that will probably stick around. But how long can you function in that aspect? It shouldn't be that long.
Just to defend SmugMug a bit, I think they, I think that they picked
Scott's
their
trying.
target market. And, like their target market are not you, right? Their
Right.
target market
That's-
are landscape photographers, at the
Right.
end of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
day,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they have their
Hobbyists.
people that are going to stick with them because they have exactly what those photographers need,
Yep.
Uh-huh.
and they're happy.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. So you mentioned your anxiety a little bit earlier, right? And I think you mentioned it at the top of every recording for your own podcast, and we'll get into that in just a little bit as well, right? So you have anxiety, you have dyslexia, you have a couple of things that I found to be not necessarily common, but like people are more open to talking about it now. And then as you go through these communities and see all the challenges that they're facing, not just as photographers, but as human beings and stuff, like tell us like how you kind of do you work around it? Do you work through it? How do you kind of address it in your own work? And does it affect your work? Like in what ways? And all of that. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Is it okay to talk about that?
Yeah. So as far as the dyslexia goes, I've written multiple books and it just took a lot of time. My wife is also a language arts teacher for special needs with a specialty in dyslexia as well. And so that proved to be helpful in that process. I didn't know I had dyslexia until I was graduating high school.
Wait, how?
Never knew
How'd you get that far?
Never knew why. Yeah, I didn't know why was I failing everything? Why was I sucking at every single thing except photography and music? Like everything I was doing horribly in school. And my senior year of high school, I went through a whole lot of shit for lack of better words. And I mean, I also say, a lot of my anxiety comes from being bullied in my childhood. And I'm talking like severe bullying, and it took me fighting back, and I am the one who got in trouble, not the bullies. Through all of that, I wound up having to get tested for a variety of different things, and one of those was dyslexia, and that's when I found out that I was dyslexic. So I now can tell when someone else is dyslexic. If I hear somebody reading, like my daughter, I'm about 30% sure because she's doing a lot of things that I do when I read. Even still, as a 42-year-old adult that I still do, I'm seeing her do as a 9-year-old. So I have my concerns that like eventually she'll get tested if it doesn't improve, right? Because it could improve, right? She may not have, and it could improve. But yeah, it's just like compensating with getting help. Instead of reading when I don't absolutely have to, I'll listen to audiobooks because that way the words aren't spinning around for me. I do learn better with visuals and audio than I do as well with reading text. The anxiety, which again, this comes from, in my opinion, it comes from all the bullying that I went through. It's just, therapy is one thing for sure. Talking to somebody on a regular basis, talking to my wife about things. No medication, thankfully.
That's good.
I would if I had to. I would. There's nothing against it. So yeah, it's just doing what is healthy for my brain to cope with things.
Right.
I might be a little short-tempered with certain things, and I just have to step back and think before I reply to something if there's a lot of tension or whatever. I also train in karate, which I believe helps with every single thing, and that's been very important. And then of course there's color blindness, which I knew growing up that I was colorblind. My father was, my grandfather was, so that in itself was like using a color checker, using a color monkey, in college, I had my professor who was actually checking my stuff out of the darkroom to say like, okay, go back and make this change. So I got the help that I needed.
What colors can't you see?
I see all the colors, but certain colors look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if you give me a navy blue next to a black, it just looks like black. I can't tell the difference. So there's certain colors, reds and oranges sometimes look the same. I can't tell the difference. So I've always had to rely on tools and people to ensure that my colors were good. Now I just use one tool to make sure. And I don't even have to second guess it. So
Right. I mean, we appreciate you sharing that story with us. Because as an educator myself, I think a lot of times people are struggling. They get a lot of anxiety. It's very hard for them to understand concepts and stuff like that. So there's even more anxiety. It's like a self-feeding loop, and it prevents them from actually doing anything at all.
Yeah.
It's crippling anxiety. I don't know where it would stem from, but whatever it is, being a person who doesn't have that challenge, right? Like it's hard for me to tell them to just suck it up and get it done.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's helpful to hear from others who are also facing those same challenges and thriving nevertheless, right?
Sometimes it is though, like sucking it up and just doing what needs to be done. Like as bad as it might sound, sometimes you just have to. Like life forces you sometimes. I can speak in front of 300, 400 photographers, whatever it is, and teach them about whatever, no problems, right? For me to speak in front of like my kids' class is an absolute nightmare. My anxiety is through the roof. I don't want to do it. Something about it. I don't know. Right?
Are they bullying you? Are they calling you names?
Yeah. I'm sure they are. But so it was early May. My father-in-law, he was supposed to this one week on that Friday. He was supposed to be the mystery reader at my kid's school, but he couldn't do it, and he was very upset that he couldn't do it. So I'm like, all right, I'll do it. Like I was dreading it. I did not want to do it. Actually helped was right now both my kids are in the same elementary school, so we got approval for my daughter, who's older, to come and be the mystery reader with me. And that little bit of a, not intervention, what would you call it? I don't know. That little bit of an adjustment of like, that's just supposed to be the parent to now it's the parent and a kid who can also read. Came in and that was so helpful, and we got through it. And I read some, she read some. We read the book with no pictures. You know that book? That book is, oh, come on. Ugh.
Well, all right. Okay. Well, these two have no kids. Those two have no kids, and then our kids are a little older.
I've seen the book, but our kids are already older, so they stopped reading.
Stop reading.
If I ever
stop reading small kids books. So I think we stopped that. Yeah.
If I ever speak on stage, we're gonna do that.
What?
We're gonna share.
No, but it's okay. No, but it's true. Well, to Scott's point, like whenever you have to talk, like I've had to speak for you.
Yes.
So like having
Rolando
that
struggles.
person next to you,
He's on the struggle bus.
Well, the time that you spoke for me, it was a very emotional speech that I had.
But
to
you
get.
would also not go on stage without me, probably.
Probably not.
Exactly.
Yeah, the comfort
This is
thing.
my
It's
this
Yeah.
is my
It is,
security
it is.
blanket.
It is.
You can't even talk it's just the four of us and a mic, and you can't even talk. Actually, Karis, for whatever reason, right? They're talking right now. Karis and Rolando, for whatever reason, you stick a mic in their face and they have to recite something.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it's
They just freeze. We don't know why, because they talk. We know they speak
Yeah.
a lot. They have a lot of things to say,
I
right?
don't speak. I don't speak.
But like you put a mic in front of them, and they know they
Hey.
have to say something. But this is a good
Back
segue.
to the
Yes, go ahead.
anxiety thing is like,
It is anxiety. It is.
well,
It's,
no, but
it's,
it's a good thing to talk about because I feel like the majority of creatives, photographers, do suffer from some sort of anxiety, some other kind of ADHD,
Mhm.
Neurodivergence.
neurodivergent in some way,
Right.
I've always been
and
like
they
that
channel
since-
it all basically in their creative work.
It's
because
hard.
They can't
Yeah.
do.
I've always been this as a kid, and then given the fact that I stutter too, it doesn't help. Someone I know recommended me like a course, and it's supposed to help you like. And then I look up the course; it's like $1,500.
What? To help you stop stuttering?
It's more of like public speaking, and if you have like a
Mm.
stuttering issue, and so this is our financial advisor who recommended it to me, and he stutters, right? And he said that he was so bad until he took this course, and now he does like public speaking, right? So I was like, all right, maybe I should look into it. Then I saw the price, and I was like, maybe I'll wait.
Yeah.
By
I don't
the
know.
way, I think all of these things, whether it's a stutter, whether it's a learning disability, whether it's anxiety or whatever, ADHD, whatever it is, I think all of it adds to imposter syndrome, right?
Mhm.
All of it
True.
adds to
Yeah.
that fear of you're not the right person for this. It does not help. It just piles on top. So it's another battle you have to fight through.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm. No one's gonna believe me when I say this, but I'm also not a natural like public speaker. You know what I mean? Like I find I might have some kind of disability. I don't know. Aside from my misophonia, where Scott, did you know this? I cannot stand the sound of people chewing and eating and drinking. Right?
I do remember you saying that. somewhere.
It's debilitating. It's debilitating, right? But I sometimes I struggle to find the words if I have to. I don't know. If it's not just a conversation, but like I'm trying to recite something or whatever, and that's why I do my lives every Monday. It's as much for me as it is for the people I'm trying to help. You know.
And they've gotten way better since you stopped using the script.
Oh yeah.
Way better. Yes.
I feel
used
like
to
it's
tell you-
boring.
No, I used to tell you all the time, like, you sound like you're on a teleprompter. Like,
I
you're
was
just like a robot. You sound like a robot. Have like a fluid conversation, like we do with the podcast. And then since you've done it, it's gotten better.
Yeah,
Is it
right.
as structured? No, but it's not like robotic.
You just have to hit the bullet points that you set aside.
Yeah, now
Yeah.
I have bullet points and I just hit them up and then
That's
that's
it,
it, right? But I used to have a script
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, someone made a comment, it's like, hey, Ben, where the hell are you looking? I was like, well, I'm looking at my mind palette to figure out, because I have words floating around, and ideas and pictures and stuff floating around that I want to talk about. That's why I have the teleprompter to keep me focused so that way I'm more engaging, you know what I mean? But now you guys got me doing my mind palace thing again, right? But but having the bullet points helps. But I don't know. Anyway, I'll carry
Bullet
on.
points definitely helps.
Bullet
Yep.
points. I'll carry on.
For me.
All right. But this is a good segue to your own podcast. How many podcasts are you a part of? Just the one you do with Imagen Workflows?
I've got a bunch of projects and stuff, but the main one is the workflows photography podcast.
And how long you've been doing that one?
Since I joined Imagen, so almost 3 years at this point.
Yeah, almost 3 years. So I guess the question I wanted to ask you, and I had this one prepared, was, you get to interview all these leaders in our industry, right? Folks who are doing really well, they're thriving, people that we look up to in the industry, right? What would you say is the common theme among them that allow them to thrive? That allows them to do really well? Because the thing is, these are the people that we look up to, and it's not just great work. I mean, hands down, they all do great work, right? But what would you think is the common denominator that kind of allows them to thrive?
I would say there's two actually. One is they're not scared to outsource, right? That's a biggie. The other one is they're all really good at setting client expectations up front and throughout the whole process. So no matter what the genre is, because like right before hopping on with you all, I was speaking with the high volume sport photographer and his wife. They're also a duo, and they've got a big team. And again, like it's all, even in that genre, it's 100% client expectations. And in their case, the client is a combination of leagues and the parents. They have two customers because the league's only going to hire them again if all the parents are happy, who are the ones actually buying the prints. So they have client expectations up front for the leagues separate from the parents. And they keep that even during the day of the shoot. When the kids are lining up, there's client expectations at that point too. Here's what to literally have one of their assistants. Here's what you're going to do when you get in onto your mark on the ground. Here's where you're going to stand. Here's how you're going to pose. Somebody's going to take your shoulder and move you, and etc. They know it. The kids, these little 12-year-olds know exactly what's about to happen, which means the parents know what's exactly about to happen because they're standing right next to them, and so on. So no matter the genre, that's been the biggest across the board with every conversation.
They have systems and workflows in place to do all that stuff. You know, that would be really handy. But that's what planners are for, right? To prep the people for, like, let's say, family pictures and stuff. Hey, this is what's going to happen. Let's get it moving. Someone's going to touch you and put you into place.
That's how we do it. That's how we do families during weddings. Jen has a whole spiel, tells everybody to stand on the sides and wait till their name is called. Everyone listens.
Are you like are you screaming at people, like yelling at people, like your general voice?
If you have to,
Yeah.
If they're not listening, I'll physically go up and move people too. Like, because you go through the hurdle of like telling them exactly how to stand and they don't get it and they're going the complete opposite direction of what you're doing. And then I'm just like, all right, whatever. Here. Yeah. This is what you're doing.
Karis will throw you under the bus, right? Say, hey, short on over there. Why are you standing back there? Can you see me? Well, if you can't see me, then I can't see you, right?
That to me is like the biggest thing. When you tell people, if you see a head in front of you, you're not going to be in the photo, and they don't move.
Yeah. They purposely trying to hide. I'm like, why are you standing here? Then stand off to the side if you don't want us to see your face. I'm like, what is the point of you standing here?
Yeah, that happened to me once too, where it was like an aunt or something who didn't want to be in the photo at all. I'm like, why are you behind everybody if you don't want to be in it? Just get out. Like, what the heck?
What's the point?
I'm like, I don't get it. Yep.
We can't see you anyway.
Yeah.
I am a little curious about these high volume photographers, right? Because I'm not in it. I don't have too many friends who are in it. But this is for sports photography, school photography, and stuff like that. Because I think, Karis, did you get an invitation to shoot the school photos for our kids' school or anything like that? Because they love your photos so much. No? Okay.
No, I don't want to do it.
We did it once.
But a lot of moms told me to, but why don't you shoot like sports photography, like, kids' activity sports? I'm like,
it is profitable.
Yes, very profitable.
Especially when you have multiple schools, multiple leagues, and then they do like not just one sport, they do all sports, right? So we did it one year for our friend Benjamin Davis. He was a football coach in Red Bank. And we he reached out to us and we did it. We tried it out.
Never again.
We did make money. We did make money. It was profitable. But what we noticed was the customer service and the customer service aspect of dealing with parents. Some parents are very unreasonable with how things. So it's just like for us, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth the headaches. And honestly, some of these parents are delusional with what happens to the photos. And like seriously, like the photos we took were some of the best that they've ever have of their children. And one parent, after getting the product, she wanted her money back, and I'm just like, so she couldn't even explain why she wanted her money back, and she
gave us $20. She gave us $20. Like
her order,
because she bought like the very base package because you can't price these too high. Well, this was like 8 years ago, so you can't price them too high. And usually the standard is you get like the base, you get like one photo, $20 or whatever the case may be, and that's all she had gotten. Might have been like a keychain or something.
No,
and
she got like a card.
Yeah, and I was like,
All this
And
grief for 20 bucks.
She didn't want to send back the actual print. And I was like, I'm not gonna like waste your time like for $20. I'm like, no, I'm sorry.
But she couldn't even describe why she was unhappy. Like we kept asking her, and so we had to like CC the team president, and he was like, he was on our side. He was like, I don't know why she's complaining. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you already got the print. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to give you an idea of like a massive amount of work that they do, and revenue they make. So they're doing multiple leagues in multiple genres of sports, right? And one league could have 1,500 kids, and every single parent is buying something, some sort of package. Every single one.
Yep.
And so I was down with them in June. They had an event that Imagen sponsored, and I went and helped out down there and got to experience watching the entire process. It was one of the best hands-on workshops I've ever seen, and I've been to a lot of them. By far, it was one of the best. They even started out saying that, you're talking, this was June, so it was half the year was gone, right? When this event happened, they were already at $500,000 in revenue by half the year. So high volume of sports, as frustrating as it could be, if you get the right systems in place, get the right software to back it, to make the process easier, and you have a good team, then you can make a lot of money.
Oh yeah,
a lot of money.
Honestly, the actual portion of taking pictures is like, it's so quick.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Because
so
it's
quick.
rinse and repeat. It's rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
10 times.
Yeah.
Right?
And depending on how many athletes you're doing, you set up multiple bays. You can do like endless amount of photos in like 2 hours. Like, it's crazy.
It's like Santa photos on steroids.
Yeah.
Santa photos
pretty
on
much.
steroids.
Yeah.
Yep.
They usually have like multiple bays. I think they call them lanes, but either way, just words, doesn't matter. They have multiple, and then they have a group area as well where they have their own like bleachers that they put together specifically for the photo shoots. So they have basically 4 sections going on at any given time.
Wow.
Where are these? Are they taking place at school or like at their own studio?
So they do it on location at the fields or in the arenas. If they do hockey, it's on the ice. If they do baseball, it's on the baseball field, etc. They don't do green screens or composites. They only do real scenes. They're also in Georgia, so they have the fortune of having great weather almost all year round.
That's true.
Right.
So
that might be our retirement plan.
So, I forgot who told me. Oh yeah, so one time we were talking to Miller's, and I asked them who their biggest client is, and they were like, it's no one that does weddings. It's a sports photographer, and this person doesn't even have a website. Does not have a website. They have no like online presence. But that person is their biggest client. Yeah, because moms don't really care about your social media. They just want to get your photos.
That picture.
Well, I mean, in fact, is like, if the parents are happy, it's not even the parents who are hiring the photographer; it's the leagues. That's it. So, like, as long as the parents are happy, the leagues are happy, and the leagues are going to rehire for the next year.
I do have a question. Maybe you have the answer, Scott. So, do the leagues get a little commission, or is it a flat rate when they hire these people?
I don't know that answer actually.
Some do.
I could guess, but I'm not sure.
Because there's got to be some kind of kickback arrangement or something. I imagine.
Some get a percentage, but that it's not. It basically goes back to the sports. It's not like them keeping the money. It's just like they'll agree on a certain percentage, and that money will be used to like make whatever they're doing, the events better, or spend money on food. They use that money to put it back towards the athletes. They're not keeping it.
So Jenn Ro, you said you photographed Ben Davis's team. Was it his son's team? Because his son's player. Nice.
Yeah, but it was years ago. He was like, oh my god, it's
7-8 years ago.
So he was like 8 years old, probably. Yeah. 8 or 9.
Well, apparently he's been like a kick-ass football player since he was little. So.
The kid looks like a grown-ass adult.
He
looks like he's in his 20s, man. The kid's only like 15, I think. 14 or 15.
We have 2 nephews that are around the same age, and one time we were all hanging out at our house, and this kid was like twice the size of our nephews. He was just like taking them and just throwing them into the pool with no problem. Like
and he ate all your food, right?
Oh yeah. Last summer he ate all our food.
You can't keep up. I mean, if you ask Ben, he'll tell you that he can't keep up.
No,
Yeah.
a lot of food.
So you've been in this educational space for a little while, right, Scott? Obviously, you see a lot of people struggling in their business, right? Like they're not just struggling with their workflows. They might not be struggling with their, well, maybe they are, but maybe they're they're struggling with their art, right? The creative end of things, right? But what do you think is like what do you think are the major reasons why people might struggle to get their business off the ground? Why are they not getting bookings? Why are they not getting leads? I mean, do you have any insight on that from your observation?
From my observation, it's a combination of not having the right education for how to run a business, first of all. Because yes, you can go to school for photography. It's not going to help you run a business. You could go to school for business, but a photography business is very unique. So you got to have an understanding of the photography business. So I think that's one thing. I think another thing is not having the right people skills for having a photography business. I am not a salesperson. So if you were to tell me, go sell an album, I'm not selling that album. It's not going to happen. I have never gone through the trainings for how to sell without selling, because I just also have no interest in selling albums. I recommend to do it, but I would never personally do it because I also don't need to, because I'm not shooting weddings enough. But
right.
That's why we all outsource that portion as well, because it's terrible for that. But
that's another thing that like that didn't always exist. Outsourcing album sales did not always exist. So I think that's another reason is people skills. I think a big thing is like, I think we all know this, your website is your business card. And if you put little effort into it and just have a free Wix site using their template and it's not you, it's not your persona that it's not your personality coming through and showing your work the way that it needs to shine, you're not going to sell your services. So I think that's another thing that I've seen is just like people just saying, ooh, I cannot spend any money and I can have my website up fast. And then it just looks like poop. So,
or it looks like every other website.
I don't know where I saw this online, but it's something about the law reciprocity, right? The amount of effort that you put in, there's a direct correlation to the results that you get on the back end, right? And I think that a lot of people fall in the trap of looking for those shortcuts, not putting in the work up front, or rather they're putting in as little effort up front, hoping for a large return on the back end. And unfortunately, I don't think it happens that way, because they see all these other folks in the industry who are thriving and everything. And these people are putting out like garbage advice. It's like, I only work 10 hours a week and I make, 7 figures a year. That's terrible advice, guys. A lot of people that you see who are thriving out there, they're putting in the work. They're constantly not just working on their craft, but they're also working on their business, like you said. A lot of your success is not just pretty photos. It's the business part of it. Ro mentioned this a couple of months ago. Where he reported back that someone was saying, "Hey, listen, I didn't sign up to be a social media influencer. I didn't sign up to do this and that. I signed up to be a wedding photographer." No, you signed up to be a business owner.
That's part of it now.
Yeah, like you signed up to be a business owner. That comes with the territory.
Yeah, but as the business owner, it also doesn't mean that you have to do the social stuff yourself.
Right.
Right.
The work just has to get done. The work just has to get done.
Yeah.
That's it. And so that's the mistake. So let me see here. So your advice is to do the work. Do the work. Learn how to run your business better. Do the work.
And if you don't, you hire somebody that does.
Yeah. By the way, I always said, so I originally went to college for music. I switched to photography technology. I got my associates from what's the one in Randolph, County College of Morris, and since got my bachelor's from Thomas Edison State University now. But I got photography technology was my major, and I had to do 2 business classes, which were like, it was nothing. It was easy. And I now many years later, if I was to go back to graduating high school and picking what I'm going to do in college, 100%. it would be business
Business.
as my major.
Mhm.
I would have gotten my bachelor's right away in business, and I feel like no matter where that put me, you know, in the world for a career, it would have been helpful no matter what.
Yeah.
Mind you, I honestly feel like everything that I've been through, where I started, I mean, I originally wanted to own a music recording studio, so I'm now podcasting for a living. You know, like
Pretty close.
things come full circle, right?
Yeah.
But so like I think everything happened for a reason, so I'm not complaining at all. But I'm just saying, if I could go back, business would have been what I would have done.
Did you play an instrument?
Yeah.
What do you play?
I got into Berklee College of Music, playing clarinet.
Ooh, sexy.
That is that is what was chosen for me as a little kid, and it was forced to the point where I got into college, and then day one at Berklee College of Music, I switched to bass guitar. Day one.
That's pretty sexy. That's very sexy. Yeah.
So.
And then you stuck to bass guitar?
Yeah. So I was playing bass. I taught myself regular guitar. I was in bands. I was touring. And,
awesome.
And then eventually I was like, I hate music theory, but I love photography theory. So I switched.
Speaking of things that our parents made us do when we were little, I'll spill a little bit. Did you know that Karis used to do kendo? Do you know what that is?
The martial art? That my parents did not force. I did it in high school. Kendo,
it's wooden swords. It's like wooden
Japanese,
swords. You look like a samurai, and you whack
like
each other.
And there's a headpiece with a mask.
Jenn's like, I don't know about that. No, I have.
You have a shield, like everything. Yep, I did for like 2 years.
That's a wooden sword.
Really good. I still have the wooden sword. I have everything, the whole kit.
Nice. If you ever want to practice on Ben,
what are these wooden swords? What are these wooden swords doing around the house?
The karate that I've been learning is Goju-ryu, which is a Japanese, traces back to Okinawa. It's actually, if you watch the Karate Kid movie and you see Daniel LaRusso doing that kata where he's like doing this.
Yes.
That is actually the form of karate that I'm learning.
Jenn Ro, did you guys have to do anything when you were little kids? Did you guys have interesting sports and hobbies that your parents made you do?
I play a lot of sports as a kid, but not like for high school or any school. But I tried Taekwondo for like 6 months, right? And it's a funny story. So my mother would send my brother and I to Taekwondo, and then at home we got into a fight and we just we started kicking the shit out of each other. And she was like, "That's it. I'm not paying for you guys I'm not gonna pay for you guys to beat each other up." So she stopped sending us. Yeah, we before we got pulled out, we were orange belts, so like we were just still entry level. Yeah, she was not having it. She was, "I'm not gonna send you guys to kick each other."
That's so funny.
That was really funny.
What about Jenn? Anything?
My mom would put me in things here and there, but she let me be a quitter, so I would quit. Dance class, quit. I forgot what else she tried to put me in. I quit that. I think the only thing I was in long term was Girl Scouts, but that was about it. Yeah, for like 3-4 years, I was a Girl Scout.
So you were like selling cookies?
Yes, terrible at that. Let her do that.
So let's turn this full circle for a second. Do you think that forcing to do certain things and then either quitting or fighting with your brother or all these different things that we wind up doing, right? Do you think that it helps now?
For me, I could have used the discipline a little bit more if they would have kept sending me, because Taekwondo is about teaching you to be disciplined and stuff. And me and my brother grew up without a father, so I felt like I think because my mom just like gave up sending us, that we probably lacked that discipline as teenagers. So I feel like it could have helped us. Yeah, it could have helped us down the road.
That could have kept you out of jail, Ro.
Possibly.
He's a thug. You know that. Scott? He's a thug. You know, he's seen some jail time. He's been behind bars. He's laughing because it's true. Is this public? Is this public information? I think we talked about it before.
We talked about it in the first episode.
That's where I got this teardrop tattoo.
No, long story short, you got pulled over for having illegal modifications or something in your
No,
car?
I had a warrant for unpaid
Ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Very,
the
very
stupidest
hard
thing,
crime.
like-
Very hard crime.
Yeah.
But see, if you would have gone to Taekwondo, you would have learned
Yeah.
how the
Yes.
disciplines to pay your ticket.
To answer your question, Scott, like I did a lot of stuff that I didn't want to do when I was growing up either. You know, my parents sent me to piano school. They sent me to Chinese school. They sent me to Kumon. Are you familiar with Kumon? You've seen those
Sounds
Kumon learning
familiar,
centers,
but-
right?
Okay.
It's these Kumon learning centers everywhere, but basically it's math, reading. It's just remedial stuff. Not remedial stuff. It's just to get the kids to go as far and fast as they can, without the limitations of the school system. But in any case, I didn't want to do that stuff. But what it has taught me is that sometimes you just have to suck it up and do it. Now, even if you don't want to do it, right? It's that you have to do it. It's sort of like eating your vegetables, right? You just have to suck it up, get it done, and then move on to the next thing, right? So if there's anything that I learned from that, it's that, and that it's really helped me tremendously in my business.
Yeah.
I don't get me wrong. I enjoy coming out every Monday on my lives and stuff, but like I would say I enjoy it maybe 80% of the time. The other 20%, it's just me just trying to slog through it and just get it done because I said I was going to do it. People are counting on me to show up every Monday. So I sometimes I do it because I have to, but most of the time I do it because I want to. But the moral of that is just just sucking up and getting things done.
I mean that's senior year of high school. I made the decision. I want to own a recording studio. For me to do that, I have to go to the best music college. And I'm like, I got to audition. The only way I'm getting in, because I literally had to go to a studio and record myself playing 2 or 3 different songs. I'll let you guess one of the artists in a second.
Springsteen, Bon Jovi.
No. And so I had to record on the clarinet to get in, right? But I knew the only way I'm doing this, and the only way I can get in and then switch to a different instrument is to play clarinet. So I had to suck it up and do it and practice. So of course, Kenny G, all the way, baby.
Oh,
I was gonna say Kenny G.
Does he play the clarinet?
no,
He's soprano sax, but it's
saxophone.
so similar.
But
that,
yeah. So
Yeah.
funny.
We have a sax player joining us soon, right?
Next week, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. Do you think we can request him to play like Careless Whisper?
He'll
That's
probably have to charge us. He'll probably have to charge us to do that.
I want to hear him play Careless Whisper. That would be like every time there's a sax player show up on anytime there's a band that shows up on the wedding day, I kind of egg them on like throughout cocktail while we're all setting up. Hey, play Careless Whisper. Come on, let's hear it. Come on, play Careless Whisper. I want to hear it.
Oh God, you're that guy.
I'm that guy. I would love to hear Scott play Careless Whisper on the clarinet. That would be pretty dope too.
I have my clarinets in the closet about 5 feet from me. I haven't touched them in I don't know how long. They've been in the case.
Now's the time. There we go.
Do it.
Now's your time to shine.
Careless Whisper.
all the dust off of it.
Focus AF exclusives.
Next time we have you, and it's going to be live, we'll have you in person. The only way you're getting into our recording studio is with your
Bring your
clarinet.
instrument.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we regret that we weren't able to have you come see us in person. It's just so hot today. It's like 100 degrees or something like that. We would all die in there, I think.
Yes.
I think we would all die.
Slowly, we'll die slowly.
Just slowly roasting in there. I guess we're getting towards the end of this recording, right? And I know you've name dropped Imagen a little bit. So without naming names or anything like that, right? Like, why Imagen out of all the companies in the world? Why are you with them? Why should other folks choose Imagen? Like, what makes them so great?
I think first of all, it all comes down to the people. The creator of Imagen, we have three co-founders. The original creator was on the AI team at NVIDIA. NVIDIA has been a very hot topic in the tech space for the past year, I would say, more than ever before. NVIDIA has been innovators in AI since before AI became a trending word. And so our original founder was on the AI team at NVIDIA, and he got married and he created, based on the actual need, his wedding photos taking forever to come back, he created the original prototype.
I love that. A wedding client was like, "This is too long. I want my photos faster."
yeah. So he
Let me
literally
fix this problem.
he literally shadowed his wedding photographer and built the original prototype, which all it did was edit like that one photographer. And that one style is still one of our talent AI profiles today. And so then he brought on the other co-founders, one of which was his college roommate, and then one of which was a best friend from childhood. So started from 3 fantastic people that are just good people overall, and they really care about not only the product, but the people that they're creating the product for, and just built up this team of some of the best developers in the tech space. Most of our product team is in Israel. So you got people who have left their very successful jobs at NVIDIA or Microsoft, et cetera, to come to Imagen and build some really, really fantastic tools. So company started, actually we're approaching 4 years. We were the first to do editing, and from day one, it was decided that it was going to be all in the cloud because of the many advantages of utilizing the cloud for heavy resource intensive things, especially as you get to higher volumes. You need to get all that off your computer so that you can do other things while all that stuff is happening.
How did you enter the conversation? How did you show up on their radar?
Very good question. We have to look back a little bit. For 10 years, I was working in the WordPress space for photographers. So I was marketing, doing similar things, community and content and podcasting for a company who made WordPress themes and plugins for photographers. And at one point while I was working there, my wife and I decided we were going to adopt our second child. And I'm like, I got to start making some more money on the side. So I really started putting some work into not only just like, taking on more photo clients again, but ramping up my YouTube channel that I had for myself and making some revenue from that. And through that, one of our co-founders at Imagen found my YouTube channel, asked if I was doing any freelance work. And I said, at the time I was actually looking for a new job, which my previous employer didn't know. And I replied to the email saying, no, I'm not doing any freelance, but if you're looking for a full-time employees, then I'd be happy to talk. Lots of phone calls later. 2 weeks later, I had a contract signed and I was hired.
Here you are.
And then they sent me to way up north, right after that. Yeah. I was 2 weeks in.
To have a booth there.
We had a booth, and it was 2 weeks in, and they sent me to Copenhagen, and I knew nothing about the software besides what it did. I didn't know how to use it so well, and talk about the introversion coming out. I was just like,
I know all about it. Introversion, I know all about it.
For sure.
Right.
But you had a little booth and now you have to sell a product that you just literally learned about.
Yeah. it was an interesting one. So anyway, yeah, I mean, so Imagen is just like a very future thinking company. Not only do we have some of the best product team in the world, but everything we do is for the community. Everything we do is to address the community's concerns. And we do it in a way, we take our time to ensure things are done very well. Nothing is rushed. Even though we get some people from all over the world saying, when is this coming? When is this coming? We still take our time to make sure it's done right, because the last thing you want to do is push out something and then it's like, why is it so buggy?
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't win.
And yeah, I mean, we know the future is cloud as much as there's a lot of photographers like trying to avoid it for different reasons. The future is cloud, and things like being able to shoot from your camera and have it immediately culled and edited and sent to your PicTime or your cloud spot or whatever it is that you're using. That's all a few blinks away. That's the future, and that's where Imagen is able to take the industry, which is an amazing thing.
So what's next for you for the next 6 months, next year? What are some things that you are working on
Personally or at Imagen?
We can talk about both. We can talk about both.
Personally, I'm going on vacation on Saturday, so
Nice. Much needed vacation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where are you
actually,
going?
We're going to Long Beach Island. So I've lived in New Jersey my entire life. I have not been to Long Beach Island even once.
LBI.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Long Beach Island? Wait, you're down to shore, but you've never
Yeah.
You've never been to
I've
Long
been
Beach
to like
Island?
almost all shore towns, but not LBI for some reason.
Mm.
But my in-laws rent a beach house or a lake house. We rotate for 1 week every summer where the entire family is under one roof. And this year they know that I like going to the beach, but I don't like sitting on the beach baking in the sun for hours and hours and hours. And they know that. And this year they found a house that is not only one, short walking distance because it's LBI, short walking distance from the beach. It's also a short walking distance to the bay with an indoor pool and hot tub at the house.
Oh my gosh.
Very
So
nice.
I am
How
very
fancy
excited.
is this house?
It is a very fancy house. It is also their 50th wedding anniversary, so us kids are throwing them a party.
Nice.
And so it's gonna be a blast.
That's
And it's my
awesome.
son's birthday that week as well. So we're gonna celebrate his
Nice.
birthday down the shore.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Now, do you disconnect on vacation?
I do.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ben now needs an education in disconnection.
Oh,
nice.
nice. Did you just AI me playing clarinet? Is that what you just did?
I was like,
I can show you actual pictures of me.
His head is horrible.
Yeah, you should have asked for an actual photo.
No, but I was like, since we're on the subject of AI, let's see what AI can generate. I was like, I need someone that looks like Scott Wyden Kivowitz playing the clarinet on a subway platform.
I mean, that's where I normally play clarinet.
Yeah, that's cool. A vacation. We're going on vacation in a few weeks too, and I think the Molinas are going on vacation too, right? When are you guys leaving?
Yes.
Yeah.
The 3rd.
Yeah. They're going north, and we're going south. I think, right?
Yeah, we're going to cooler climates. You guys are going to hotter climates.
We're going to Mexico. We're going to be we're going to be going down to Mexico, and these guys are going to. Where are you guys going?
Iceland and Scotland.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Is that where Guinness is? Is that Guinness?
Ireland.
Ireland. Right. Yeah.
We're
Ireland.
doing one overnighter in Ireland, so we're in Dublin. So we will go try some Guinness. We're not Guinness people, but we'll go try.
But Scotland is the land of Scotch, then, right? So
Scotland is Guinness too. They drink Guinness there.
Oh, do they? Okay, I just know
I mean, they're close.
Yeah, they're close.
But
enough.
do you guys drink Scotch?
No.
Scotch is tasty.
We drink tequila.
You know what? You guys asked for Bengarita recently, and I don't think I still haven't recovered from
tequila.
Dallas. Yeah, I can't look at a bottle of tequila yet. Scott, so to give you some context,
I watch and
but you don't know what happened afterwards.
No,
yeah, I don't know what happened after. I'm sure it was exciting.
have you ever heard or ever watched Weekend at Bernie's?
Yes.
Okay, so I was Bernie, and they had to carry me to the hotel room. And when we were going to the lobby, they were like, "You guys need a wheelchair?"
They're like, "Do you need a wheelchair?"
You know, it was funny. You could tell the exact moment that Ben got drunk. The exact
moment. And there was no turning back at that moment. Was it the moment when he was telling a story and then he goes, "What was the question again?"
You guys are dogging on me, but Ro, you got drunk too. You know, everyone got drunk.
Not like you. Oh my god!
I had 3 sips of tequila and that was it.
Yeah,
I was like, I had no desire to keep up.
Jen was like, "You're on number 7. I'm still on 1."
Like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just not. We haven't
That
watched
was
it. We need to go back and watch it.
Entertaining to watch and listen to.
All 3. It was a long one. It was by far the longest. Recording.
The comments were funny because, like, I guess everybody was able to tell that you passed the threshold of of being here on Earth.
No return.
Right, and they were telling Iram, they were like, Get him some tacos.
Give him some food.
The legend lives on. And these assholes, we'll say asshole again, right? Took pictures of me while I was incapacitated.
There's so much photos and
so
videos.
I'll never live
Next
this
time
down.
we see you, Scott, we'll show you. We only show these people in person. You haven't lived in the digital world.
These pictures are meant to be shared. They can't die a digital death, right? They need to be shared with the world.
Then they should be printed. Then
turn into an album.
That's our motto.
Yeah, and then in return, we need to see some pictures of you playing the clarinet. That would be dope.
Yeah,
I will show you pictures of me playing the clarinet with my 90s hairdo that my mom did for me at hair. What was that? The it's still around. The hair cutter place.
Haircuts with a Z. Haircuts with a Z. Or cuts.
It might be that.
Lemon
or
tree.
Hair cuttery.
Lemon tree.
Hair cuttery.
It was one of them. One of them with the word haircut in it. That was a change.
The lemon tree. Was it lemon tree? Did anyone say that?
I said lemon tree.
Oh.
Yeah, I said that.
But
are you gonna do it?
Do what?
Do it.
Do what?
Do it.
What are you doing?
Oh, me passed out.
Nice.
So that's the Kikoto logo over there. Me passed out in their lobby. The lobby of Kikoto. This is how you get sponsors, guys. This is how you get sponsorships. Passed out in their lobby. Man. So what I need to do next is just fly over to Israel and hang out at Imagen's lobby and like pass out there too.
Yeah.
All right, so we're just about wrapped up here. So Scott, tell folks where they can find you. How can they find you? How can they reach out to you if they got something they want to ask you, reach out to you for whatever reason? Yeah.
So my website and all of my personal socials is Scott Wyden. That's ScottWyden. Of course, you can find me in the Imagen community on Facebook. And it's really it. Awesome. and hanging around Jersey.
There you go.
You find them everywhere.
LBI next week.
Yes, LBI next week in the house with the pool.
He'll be there. He's on the GSP playing his clarinet. You know, follow that guy. Follow that guy. Well, Scott, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Thank you.
Truly a treat to have you join us on this episode. Anyway, if you guys would like to check out our bloopers, our highlights, and all the behind-the-scenes stuff, you guys can check that out on our Instagram at focused.af. And also, don't check out our website, which is at focus-af.com. It needs to be updated. I'm working on that. Also, the YouTube. How's that coming along, Ro?
That is live. You can follow us at the Focus AF podcast on YouTube. Mm-hmm. We have we're almost caught up. We have 3 more episodes to upload, but everything's there now.
Yeah.
So you guys go check that out on YouTube. And then if you guys got any questions, you like to send in like some crazy wedding stories or whatever it is, you can shoot us an email at hello@focus-af.com. Almost forgot our email. So anyway, on that note, are you guys focused AF?
We are.
We are.
Thank you.
I am today. I'm hungry AF, so let's get going. Let's go eat.
we gotta go to Peru now.
Yeah, we gotta go get dressed and get something to eat. But again, Scott, thank you so much for joining us. Listeners,
thank you
so much for hanging out with us.
We appreciate it.
You guys.
We will see you guys.
We'll see you around. Yep.
All right.
Adios.
Bye.
Bye.
Focused AF is a fun, business-focused podcast for wedding creatives.
Co-hosted by award-winning husband and wife wedding photography teams, Ben and Karis.
And Jenn Ro, where we help fellow wedding creatives with their sales and marketing.
With laid-back conversations and real talk with some of our most favorite people in the universe.
And with that being said, are you Focused AF?
I am Focused AF today.
We are Focused AF.
I think I might be Focused AF.
Welcome to the Focused AF podcast.